Explorer, this is Houston.
Go ahead, Houston.
Mission abort. Repeat. Mission abort.
Explorer, this is Kowalski confirming visual contact with debris. Debris is from a BSE sat. Repeat. I have it right.
Dr. Stone requesting faster transport.
We have to go. We have to go, go,
Kennedy
go.
reports meteorological conditions. Don't go.
Houston, Explorer, copy. Explorer, Dr. Stone requesting faster transport to Bay Area. Explorer, do you copy?
Explorer, permission to retrieve Dr. Stone.
Your go, Kowalski. Houston, this is Explorer, copy.
All right.
We've lost Houston. We've lost Houston.
Look, we need to get the hell out of here.
Need
some help there, man? No, don't wait for us.
We're stuck.
Man down.
Houston, this
Man
is
down.
Copy. Houston, this is Explorer, copy. Kowalski,
Explorer's been hit. Explorer's been hit. Explorer, go for Explorer. Astronaut is off structure. Dr. Stone is off structure. Dr. Stone, detach. You must detach. If you don't detach, that arm's going to carry you too far. Listen to my voice. You need to focus. I'm losing visual of you. In 2 seconds, I won't be able to track you. You need to detach. I can't see you anymore. Do it now.
let's fight.
Houston, I've lost visual, Dr. Stone.
Good to see you again.
Okay, I like the suit.
Thank
Again,
you.
what suit that? You always tell us the cost. What was it last time?
It was like a $90.
Still the same one?
Same one.
I love it.
Well, that's why I wore it again, because I thought...
I like, very nice.
This is one of the greatest films I've ever seen in my entire life.
Really?
I just thought I'd start out with that. And I wouldn't tell you that if I didn't believe it.
Jake, you want to
Jake Hamilton?
And I'm in the business, yeah. Okay, anyway.
I could get a two-shot the whole time. It'd be awesome. When Stanley Kubrick made 2001, he said something really interesting. He said that the most terrifying thing about the universe is not that it is hostile, but that it is indifferent. However vast the darkness, we must supply our own light.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, to get through this movie, however dark or intense this movie was, what was the light that got you through?
My son, at the end of the day.
How so?
Because I got to see him. I got to untether, unclamp, unstrap myself and go walk out and be with life and be with spontaneity and imagination versus, this sort of black and barren industrial mathematical cube that I was in most of the time, where you do spend a lot of time in silence. My sense of hearing was taken away with all the things on my ears and the earwigs, which actually helped. But I had only Alfonso's voice through the earwig or music. So that silence and that vastness and that indifference was in my cube. I mean, I could reach out for help any time, but you spend enough time with yourself in silence, you're going to be surprised at the things that are floating around your head.
I'm sure. Could you have done this movie if you didn't have your son, or would it just have been that much harder?
I'm sure I could have done it, but the reason I did it was for him. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to work, and I met Alfonso, and just him as a human being and his story and his life and why he wanted to make this movie and tell this story, I felt very connected to. But because of my son, I felt it was really important for me as his mom and as a woman to try and pull it off, so I could tell him what I felt about him and tell him to what lengths a mom would go for their child, and it would be a really cool film for a child to see. It's not I love you. It's like, watch this amazing, beautiful thing unfold, and every boy's gonna love this space movie. Now, hopefully, every girl will love it on that same level. So I wanted to be that mom superhero.
Of course,
in his eyes,
and you are, now.
Hopefully.
I live in Houston, so I've had the chance to talk to a few NASA astronauts about the movie, and something a few of them have said to me, which is, the movie looks amazing. It looks like one of the most incredible films I've ever seen. I don't know if I could watch it. So I was wondering, to a degree, is that a compliment? Does that mean that you guys did your job right?
No. I mean, I'm sure it could be twofold. I mean, does it mean that they can't? They don't know if they could watch it because it will never translate the visceral and emotional feeling they have from their experiences up in space?
I think more along the lines of, it terrifies them at the idea that this is
something
actually
like
something
that
like this could actually happen.
Well, that's another reason not to watch it for them, because this is what they have to block out of their mind when they go up and they perform these amazing feats for us to benefit from the information that they bring back. But I think that they will be so pleased. I mean, the astronauts that we have here are like, I'm so glad this was made. On many levels. It is a fantasy to a certain degree, but emotionally, I think it conveys what they feel and what they experience up there.
For sure. Whenever you make a movie like this and you're venturing into uncharted territories, things that no one has ever done before, do you have to get through it, more faith in yourself or more faith in Alfonso?
All the faith went into Alfonso. I mean, I would lose faith on a steady basis every day. Well, I didn't have all my crutches. I didn't know, half the time I was like, I have to be reminded, where are we? What are we doing? Because you're battling your body, you're battling the solitude, you don't have someone showing you playback going, look, that you executed it well. All the tools that I had before were gone, which in the end benefited me. But it was just a project in loneliness and solitude, and I had to constantly go back to him going, what was in your head in this scene? What did you want to say? And what are you going to say visually that will help me in my work, so I can either pull back, I can either say less, I can say more, to help him tell his story.
Absolutely. Ms. Bullock, I cannot tell you how much I love this movie with all my heart.
Glad.
It is so amazing.
I'm so
and I always
glad.
love talking to you. I'm coming up for a hug.
Thank you.
You're amazing. I love you
Bye.
so much. Good
Bye.
to see you.
Good job
I'll
on the
see you
suit again.
Thank you.
Do you copy? Houston, do you copy? Houston, this is Mission Specialist Ryan Stone. I am off structure and I'm drifting. Do you copy? Anyone? Anybody? Do you copy? Please copy.
Good to see you this morning, sir.
Great to see you,
So
Jay.
I want to flash back to a young Alfonso Cuaron, and you, as a child, you always wanted to be an astronaut. Imagine a young Alfonso sits down and watches Gravity. Does that adjust whether or not he wants to be an astronaut? Like, how does that adjust who he grows up to be?
Well, I have to say that's the thing. When I was doing the film, at some point when we start seeing the rendering, I thought about me being a kid. And I remember telling the visual effects supervisor, says, as a kid, I would love that movie. So yeah, I mean.
So it would only fuel the fire. It would only encourage that dream.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yes, it was this thing of, but when you're a kid, it's a combination of you want to be an astronaut because you want to be an astronaut, and also you want to be an astronaut because of the make-believe of being an astronaut. So everything is like a big blur and confusion. I don't know if once that I would start studying to be an astronaut, if I would actually dig it.
True, very true. And weirdly enough, as a kid, I wanted to grow up and interview you about being an astronaut. So it worked out well.
Dreams fulfilled.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I actually saw this movie with one of my best friends, and we walked out with a similar opinion and a dissimilar opinion. We both agreed it's one of the best films we've ever seen. I, in no way, wanted to know how you did that. And I mean it as a compliment because I loved the magic of just not knowing. He wanted to know and be meticulous and pick it apart. From a filmmaker's perspective, would you rather us not know and just be in awe and amazement, or would you rather us know to be able to respect the art that you did?
I would prefer for audiences to just go and experience the film first. Mm-hmm. To go enjoy it, like it or not, but just experience the film. And then after, the ones that choose, yes, to have access to see how the heck they do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's about knowledge, and knowledge has to be shared, so for whoever is interested. But yes, as a first view, I would prefer people just see it,
See it blindly. So
yeah.
We're both kind of right in a way.
I think you're right. Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough. All right, so I'm going to tell him that.
No,
way
and because maybe you're not interested in and that's fine as well.
I mean, it's not that I don't want to know, but it's also that, like, I was just so in awe, and it's so rare that I can see a movie and not know how someone does something that I kind of just want to take that rare experience.
But it's a bit like seeing David Copperfield.
Exactly. That's good. That comparison I made. That's exactly right.
And you don't want to know how the heck he did it. Mm-hmm. You just want to be amazed by the act. And then later on, whoever is really curious, they can figure out how that thing happened.
Absolutely.
Also, because I'm sure that even if you know the techniques that David Copperfield used, there's always that a great performer has that is a secret that is unshareable.
For sure.
You know, and that's a certain sensibility.
For sure. I just wanted to ask really quick before I take off. James Cameron just came out and recently said, and I quote, that Gravity is the best space film ever done. And obviously that's an incredible honor, it's a great quote, but to what degree is that potentially a disservice that he said that? Like, does that add any sort of unnecessary pressure on you to deliver up to that quote?
Well, I'm just pleased that he said and that he found that. I mean, it's just, Cameron was fundamental to do Gravity, just because when he did Avatar, he opened the door for us filmmakers to be fearless about using the tool of visual effects. You know, and also early on in the process, he's the one who told me when everybody said it was impossible, he said, you're going to make it happen. It's just that you have to invent your new set of tools. You know, the technology is there, create your own tools. And so if he finds, and he liked Gravity, I have to say, man, he's James Cameron, so I'm flattered.
Fair enough. I could talk to you all day. I have 1,000 more questions.
Hey, yeah,
it's a great honor to sit across from you, sir. When you come through Houston, I have a very comfortable fold-out couch.
Perfect, Jay.
So it's open to you, sir.
I'm looking forward to meet you.
Good to see you, sir. An absolute honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Aim. Fire.
Brake! Brake! You have to brake!
Can's empty. We're gonna hit hard. Grab a hold of anything you can.
It's so good to see you, man.
to see you
This is
again,
so
too.
crazy that. Oh, Jake Hamilton, Fox Houston. Mike and I we're just catching up because we're old friends.
Yeah, man. You're from the neighborhood.
From the neighborhood in
That's
Houston.
kind of a New York thing to say.
And the
but
neighborhood.
you're
But
from the
we
neighborhood.
can do that. In
Yeah.
Texas, we have the same thing.
Yeah.
Mike, good to see you again, man.
Likewise.
We were hanging out in Houston before.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to give you a hypothetical situation. There's a
Yes.
kid out there in Houston. He
Yeah.
wants to be an astronaut. He's ready to be an astronaut. He's ready to work for NASA. He goes to see Gravity.
Yeah.
It scares the living crap out of him. What would you tell that kid that saw this?
I would tell them it's a movie. It's not. It's not based on fact.
Right.
I mean, it's a possibility that we could have bad things happen during a shuttle flight, or we don't have shuttle flights anymore, but during a space flight. But we prepare for those, and when we have trouble, we work together to solve the problem. But this is a movie.
Right.
It's not reality. I think it's something to watch and enjoy, but don't get scared. By
Okay. So then
whoever that little kid is, don't get scared. By it.
I want to ask, to what degree would it go down like this? Let's imagine this scenario actually happened. To what degree would it be this bad? I mean, like, could it actually get to this point, or is this an exaggeration of a potentially already bad situation?
This is pretty bad, I don't think,
Is this
after
worst
a
case
while,
scenario?
I mean, after a while, you got to
Right.
give it throw and say, all right, that's it. All right, no matter what, it's just going to keep going. Because a lot of things continue to happen, and it's a really bad day.
Right.
But we do practice for a bad day where you might get a meteorite come in and get your piece of space debris might hurt you or your spacecraft, and we learn how to react to those types of emergencies. So it is a possibility. I think that this shows the dangers of spaceflight. I don't know if you want to say exaggerated, but I don't know if we can get much worse than what they show. But I think it shows some of the reality that this isn't just fun and games.
For sure.
Things we think about are things like that happen. And what are we going to do if something happens and someone gets hurt? And how are you going to get them in from the spacewalk? And do you leave the telescope that you're working on right away? Do you button it up? We practice all those scenarios, just like the decisions they had to make. So I was really curious to see how they were going to handle that. I had my own. This is what I would do. That would
Right,
and and it was interesting the way they handled it.
There have been so many space movies over the years. Some of them are grounded in reality, and some of them
Yeah.
are obviously not. Your least favorite space movie, just because of how ridiculous it is.
I don't know. Can I tell you the ones I like?
And then by process of elimination, I'm going to start to assume which ones you don't like.
The ones I like this one. I like The Right Stuff.
Right,
It was
of
one
course,
of my all-time favorite, probably. It kind of inspired me to become an astronaut, actually,
Right.
when I saw that. And Apollo 13 is, the all-time, probably the best one as far as being factual and showing the real side of things.
Ed Harris is Mission Control in Gravity.
That's what I thought I recognized his
Right?
voice.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
playing Gene Kranz.
We were in Toronto a few
Apollo
weeks
13.
ago, and I interviewed Ron Howard, and I was like, dude, Ed Harris is Mission Control again. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Thoughts on a little film called Armageddon? I'm always curious to talk to an astronaut.
I thought that was cool. I got a chance to, when I was down at the Kennedy Space Center, they were doing some filming, so I got to meet the cast and the people making that movie, so that was kind of cool. Again, it's a movie. It's based on a made-up story. There's things where you can say, that wouldn't happen, but I thought that was a great movie too. I like the space movie.
For sure.
I think they're kind of cool. Anything that's going to show the planet from a distance, I'm in.
Cool.
Yeah,
Excellent.
so.
Mike, you're an awesome guy. I love talking with you. It was good to see you again.
Glad
when are you
to
coming
see
back
you
to
doing
Houston?
well, man.
Dude, I'm doing my best. When are you coming to Houston?
I'm in New York for a while.
Okay.
I'm on loan I'm still with NASA, but I'm on loan up in New York City for 9 months. So I think we'll probably get back there around Christmas time.
Cool. Coming back in studio?
I'd love to.
Wherever.
Yeah, send me a note, man. You
Will
guys
do.
should know how to get a hold of me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'd
for
love
sure.
to come in.
Excellent. We'd love to have
Anytime.
you, man.